Welcome back to the layout, everyone. So this is going to be a three-part video and kind of walk you through these sections. I'm going to break it up into three different videos. So here in the background, this area is mostly done. I still have some weeds and overgrowth to add along here. And then back here on this smaller hill, I need to do the landscaping here, which trees and underbrush. And then this whole section here, where we'll receive trees, underbrush, weeds, foliage, so on. So once that's all done, that'll pretty much complete all the scenery in that section. So that's going to be this first video, and then we'll have a second video. So right in this section here, this front section here. So this is going to be where I have a small strip center. So that's going to be this kit here. And then on the side, I'm going to have this kit as well. So then we'll have a parking lot, and then some outdoor tables, and of course the landscape in this area. So that's going to be the second part in this three-part series. And then the third part will be, so coming up in here, this is going to be the modern gas station. So that's this Walther's kit. So I'll kind of in each of these sections I'll have some tutorials on how I'm doing things, and the thought process and the design, and making these different areas work. And then as time moves on, all my crossings, I'll have working crossing gates there, and that's a project further on down the road. So for right now, those roads will stay the way they are. So I hope you enjoy this series. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the landscape in this hill area right here. So first thing I'm going to do is drill the holes for my trees. So I do them at random. Sometimes I'll even drill a couple more holes than what I actually end up putting trees in. But I just want to kind of make sure that I have enough holes in this area so that when I'm sticking the trees in, it looks natural. So after I've drilled the holes, next thing I'll do is just vacuum up this. So I want to have, before I put the trees in, I'm going to put a little bit of rock ballast through here. Just kind of looking like an exposed washout area. So the first thing to do that is basically just make a trail with my glue. What I'll do is, I do the same thing when I'm ballasting my track, but so I got this talus, and I'll put the talus, I just take a piece of paper and fold it in half, and work on adding this into the area. And by doing this with the paper, it gives me the control that I need as I'm trying to spread this so it doesn't go everywhere. So as you're doing this, when you have it on a little bit of a, an incline like this, you will get it starting to wash down. So I'll just kind of work on getting that back up. And I might do it a couple more times as I'm in here. Once this glue starts to set, it'll be tacky enough that it'll actually stay. So the next thing that I do is I put a little bit of the fine turf on here. This one's burnt grass, and just do that to kind of replicate some moss. That's the first, and then next I'll come with some more glue on top of this. Just to help hold the top. And I'll come in with just a little bit more turf. All right. So next, I'm going to start putting the trees in, and again, it just goal is I'm just trying to make it look like it's natural, that this wasn't landscaped. It's not someone's front yard. Usually what I'll try and do is find a couple of the largest trees that I'll have in the area and kind of work out from there, especially in, with a small area like this. So I got, before I kind of glue it in the hole, I'll kind of see how it works best in the area. Probably do that. And as I'm putting these in, they might start leaning a little bit. They might even completely fall over. And again, it's just I don't go with a really wide hole. when I'm drilling these. So, as the glue starts to tack up, that problem will be solved. Same with if I'm putting in trees, like here in the back, you can see some of these tops are crooked. I'll wait until tomorrow, and once that's completely dry, I'll kind of come in there with and straighten them out. So here I'm using 3 different trees. End up with these here are the Walther's summer trees. This is 2 Walther trees as well, and then I use these pine trees a lot. These are made by Bush, I want to say. As I'm putting these in, I'll kind of find what side of the tree works best. Sometimes I might have something that was dug out, and these trees are I'm reusing from my previous layout, so the bottoms of them might be snipped a little bit or something like that. So again, it's just kind of finding the right tree for the right spot. Okay. So I'm happy with that amount of trees. The next thing that I'll do, so this doesn't, again, look like a manicured lawn, is I'll start putting the ground cover, which is bushes, shrub. Sometimes I'll do trees that have fallen over, and so on. So a couple of the things that I use is the clump foliage. So to do that, I'll just kind of pick a spot where it looks right and put down a bed of glue and some kind of random pattern. And what I'll do is I have a couple different colors of the foliage that I'll use, and I'll just start putting that down. do sometimes. Just kind of run some glue on top of it that helps hold that in place. And again, with this being Elmer's, you know, as soon as it dries, it's clear. You're not going to see it. And then another thing that I'll use to kind of break it up is this other. These are basically similar to the Super Trees brand, and every once in a while I'll use it as an actual tree, but more often than not I just use it as ground cover. Sometimes, you know, something as big as this, I'll find a spot for it to kind of go down, and then, you know, sometimes I'll use just something small like that. But again, just kind of finding the right places for those to end up sitting. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that area. You know, a couple things I guess, you know, that I'm looking for as I'm you know, doing this one section is in this case I do want to be able to see through the trees in a couple different spots. I have 2 tracks behind here, so you know, I do want to be able to see the trains going by. Another thing I'm trying to do is you know, make this look natural, and at the same time have a couple areas that are open in here where I'll be able to put some figures, maybe someone camping, something like that. Uh, as I'm kind of laying this out, these are just things that I'm kind of keeping in the back of my head as I'm going through this and creating these sections. Alright, so I've finished this section here with putting all the scenery in. And the glue's still drying. That'll disappear by the morning. And like I said, I'll come back and straighten out these trees. But yeah, so this I'm pretty happy with this area. Something that I'll do in the future is tie bundles, old rail, things like that in certain areas along the tracks. That'll help kind of finish out these scenes. I'll have, like I said, I'll have a campsite up there. Have a couple different little small scenes like that. But that's everything. So next is going to be, again, this area right here. This area, this is the next project. This is going to be the strip center. So that'll be right here. Alright, so again, thank you for watching. Let me know if you got any comments or questions. I appreciate it. Thank you.